I'm Jay from the Kubz guys. Welcome back to another episode of reacting to these true story animations. A lot of you guys were telling me to react to a video called I Cry Real Diamonds. That title actually makes me want to cry real diamonds. I already smelled the bull on this video's lips, but let's see how real this diamond story actually is. If you guys cool with that and you're down with that, everybody get ready and buckle up, because here we go!
My name is Maggie. I'm 16 years old, and I'm also quite emotional. As a child, I could never finish reading a fairy tale. The prince would marry the princess, and I would hold my breath, and tears would flow like a river.
Oh, boo freaking who!
And I'm terribly ashamed. Are you embarrassed to cry publicly? One time, I had to leave in the middle of a concert that my friends and I had been waiting a year for. And all because of a sad song about unhappy love. I sobbed louder than the soloist sang. My friends laughed at me for a long time.
Okay, I just want to say right now that there's nothing wrong with crying. I'm a guy and it's no secret that a lot of people give men crap when they cry. But I'm here to tell all my fellas watching this right now, there is nothing wrong with crying. All my guys out there, let it out once in a while. Just let it out.
Maybe I was so emotional because I felt sad about my dad. I didn't have one. According to my mother, he left us when I was young.
He went to Walmart. He went to get the milk.
I always missed him and cried constantly.
He went to get the titty milk.
Everybody has a dad, and I wanted to have mine.
He went to get my titty milk, matter of fact.
My mother strictly forbade even to talk about him.
He's still milking my titties.
I tried not to think about him and decided to redirect my unrealized love in a different direction.
Okay, I'm sorry, but yeah, your dad left you, bull freaking who. What does this have to do with diamond tears? I want you to cry right now because I want some diamonds. Like, I could use a new bracelet. Give me some freaking diamonds. I'll make you cry right now. I'll sing a song. You can watch me in concert.
I adore animals. And 3 years ago, I became a volunteer at a local animal shelter.
Three nipply shits?
This is where I spend most of my time. Recently, I had to find owners for a cute dog.
If you don't get your pugly ass to tell me about your diamond tears, I swear to God.
I made a post on some social networks that Binky was looking for a home. And somebody responded.
Now we're talking about Binky. From diamond tears to Binky.
About 40 or 45 years old, was looking for a dog for his son. Greg was very sweet, but looked tired and a little sickly. He immediately liked Binky, was an ideal candidate, and was interesting and kind.
Okay. I'm gonna say this one more time. Who freaking cares?
But you should never judge a book by its cover. Greg asked me about my volunteering because he also loved animals. He was a photographer and had long thought about doing a photo project about homeless cats and doggies.
That's great. Maybe he should make a video so you don't have to talk about that on your video.
Like to be involved. The offer was interesting and could help the animals find a home. I thought about it whilst Greg invited me to check out some photos in his workshop. I didn't talk to my mum, of course. She would ruin everything.
You're ruining everything. You're ruining my life. You're ruining my Saturday night.
Greg's work was incredible. He shot random people on the street, but these were masterfully captured moments of everyday life. I praised Greg and his work, but then his phone rang and he went upstairs to take the call. The signal was terrible in his basement, he said. It was then that I uncovered the real Greg. I decided to explore his workshop and wandered into a far corner. There I found a photo of myself.
What is this, bro?
With my mum. It was from about 3 years ago when I still had red hair.
This shit better make her cry right now.
I found 2 folders filled with me and my mother. It was like something out of a movie, one with a crazy person. I was taken aback with horror. Greg had been following us.
This story's taking me aback by horror.
It was a high time to get
I feel like a whore right now.
But I didn't have the opportunity. Greg had returned and was already approaching me, my throat dry with fear.
Okay, you know, if this story was called like creepy dude that wanted to adopt a pug just became a weird, obsessed, creepy stalker serial killer, I would have been like, ooh, this is interesting. But the title is literally I Cry Real Diamonds. Has this bitch ever cried once? Besides the beginning when she was at a concert and she was like, no!
No one even knew where I was. I had lied to my mum that I was staying late at the shelter. I was terrified as he began to approach. I started screaming, pushing Greg, and then
why are there lines coming out of his head?
Binky
Oh, my guy, my pug.
Greg's leg, which allowed me to escape. Once home, I began to weep like never before.
Here we go.
Suddenly, I felt a wild pain in my eyes. Instead of tears, crystals dropped out.
Give me those diamonds!
It was unique, like ice flowing from the back of my eyes. What was happening? I called out to my mum. She came in and shook the crystals together in her palm. Altogether, I cried 15 pieces.
She's like, we're rich,
my eyes
bitch!
were going to explode. Boom. But just then, there was a knock on the door. It was Greg. Can you imagine? My mum seemed to freeze on the spot from surprise.
I'm
He had
back
brought
from
Binky with him
Walmart.
and said that they had followed us, or rather, photographed us in the city. What he said next shocked me to my core.
I'm dead.
I'm your dad. I didn't believe it, but my mum nodded.
I figured out the
silently.
twist before
It
the
was
twist.
true.
I'm
In
the
fact,
twist.
Greg hadn't wanted to leave us. Many years ago, when I was young, he had learned that he had a rare disease, a volatile amino acid metabolism and impaired kidney function.
Does that mean you're
As
a
result,
fuck man?
An abnormally high amount of amino acid cysteine accumulated in his body, which formed into crystals. He was told that he wouldn't last long, and, not wanting to be a burden to my mum and I, had left. But
You guys
the
smell that?
doctors were wrong. Greg had learned to live
smell
with the
it in
disease
both
and
nostrils.
even began to work as a photographer. He had been
Taste it.
transferring me and my mum money
kinda peanutty.
as best as he could. There hadn't been any
Smells of
foundation
bull.
for all those years. It had been Dad.
Tastes of bull.
I held back my emotions while he told us his
Can't
tale.
quite put my
but
finger on it.
after, I cried in all my might. Crystals came pouring out of my eyes
Cha-ching.
again. Greg was crying too.
Oh, why don't you
I
cry
almost
crystals, huh?
collapsed in
I
surprise
thought you're
at
the
what
one
I
with the
saw next.
disease.
The same two large crystals
Oh,
appearing from his
shit,
eyes.
he really did
We
cry.
had the same
What?
disease. And I, like my dad, showed symptoms at a fairly adult age. All my health problems were at the genetic level. Dad felt guilty, not only for giving
are
me
these
poor health,
X-Men?
but also a hereditary disease.
What are these
But
freaks?
that wasn't all. I came back, not by chance, but because the doctors have given me only 1 month to live. I had just found my
1
dad,
month to
and I was
live.
going to lose him again almost
Then why did you adopt the
immediately.
dog?
I was on the verge of tears,
The heck?
but my father made me promise
I
him
would've
never
traveled
to
the
cry
world.
again. Dad gave me Binky and instructed me that every time you want to cry, Maggie, look at this dog.
Wait, what? Didn't she work at the dog shelter? If she wanted Binky, she would have gotten Binky. Why did you have to come into her life and get Binky just to give her Binky even though she worked at the shelter that had Binky? My mind's gonna explode, bro!
Remember, life is beautiful and amazing, but short. So make sure to enjoy it, every moment of it. My dad left that same night, and I never saw him again. But I
'Cause he
still
died
keep
a
my
month
promise
later.
to him, and I live every day to its fullest. So if you cry at a movie or song for no reason, remember my story and don't waste your tears in vain.
Nobody, please,
Even
don't
if
remember
they
this
aren't
story.
crystals.
Don't remember this
Why do
pug
you
shit
usually
story.
cry? Tell me in the comments below. And remember to
No,
like and subscribe.
don't tell her in the comments below. What'd the comments say about this? Who else knew that it was fake the second they read the title? I did. Who's in 2019? It's almost Christmas. Well, it's almost 2020. These stories, I was born at a young age. 2019, I cried diamonds. 4032, I died and lived. This girl's zodiac is Cancer, but the Cancer disowned her after finding out she was on this story. Little Leaf, you tried, buddy. This next video we are gonna check out is called My Step Brother Filmed Me. I don't know, this might be a little too risky. This might be the riskiest business that we react to this whole month. But you know what? We're gonna do it.
This story is about my violent stepbrother.
Violent.
I was so scared he would hurt me that I
thought
tricked
he was just
him
weird.
into committing a crime, so he had to serve a long prison sentence. It all started when my mother got married to George. He was an absolute jerk, but his son Peter was even worse. He had autism and always stared at my body even though I told him to stop doing it. Sometimes he even tried to hug me, so I had to physically push him away.
Good.
Maybe he
Good for
didn't
you.
have bad intentions, but I didn't care. I told him he was a huge creep and a loser.
Nice, nice.
Unfortunately,
All
my mom
facts,
thought I was
not opinions.
disrespectful. She said, "He has a disability and you need to be nice to him." I responded, "But I'm scared. He wants to hug and touch me and he's much stronger than I am." But my mother wouldn't listen. You see, Peter often had meltdowns where he suddenly attacked his own dad and bit into his arm.
Oh, jeez.
But what if he attacked
Maybe
me
he was
one
hungry.
day? Well, my mom didn't care. She forced me to have regular board game nights with Peter, and he always
Board
acted
game
as if
nights?
I was his girlfriend.
You
He
guys
would
are
pull out his
winners.
smartphone and say, "Hey, I'm here with my girlfriend Christy, and tonight we are playing Monopoly, just the two of us." It was so creepy. And one time we all went swimming at a lake. I was wearing a bikini when Peter came up to me and just stared at my breasts. It made me feel very uncomfortable, so I screamed, "I don't like you. No girl likes you, and that's why you're gonna die alone as a creep."
Ooh.
His reaction surprised me. He sat down and just started crying.
Probably
Suddenly, I
because
felt
he knew
bad
he was
for
going to
him
be a
and
virgin for the rest
apologized.
of his life.
I said,
I'd
"Hey,
cry too.
I'm sorry for what I just said. Actually, you are a nice guy." But I regret saying that because he stood up and hugged me, pressing my body against his. I had to push him away and told him to F off. The next morning, I got ready
off,
for
dude. We
school and
family
took off
friendly
my
here,
pajamas
brah.
to get into my favorite leggings. But
He's right there! He's right there! Bro, why we got full body shadow? I'm surprised it's not like a full shadow of like a wiener or something,
around,
dude.
my heart skipped
This
a
man
beat.
is so
Was there someone laying
thirsty.
below my bed? I looked closer, and yes, there was my stepbrother Peter. He was holding his smartphone, and I completely freaked out and screamed,
God,
"Get
this
the
man.
F out of my room, you dirty creep!" Peter got up, and that's when I realized that he must have been filming me the whole time. That's why I tried to take it away from him, but he was too strong and just left. I felt so angry and helpless.
That's
Peter
disgusting.
could do whatever he wanted and just blame his autism. I went to my stepdad and said, "Get your son under control." He
Why does the
filmed me this
stepdad look
morning from
exactly
under my
like the
bed.
son?
He saw
Same
me changing
age,
my
too.
clothes, and he is a creep.
Just a couple more
But my
wrinkles on his face and
stepfather
his
started
nuts.
laughing and said, "Calm down. He's harmless.
Calm
he just doesn't know
down.
how to properly
He's
talk to an
harmless.
attractive girl like you."
Look, I got a
freaked
deep
out
voice,
and
so that means
screamed,
I'm the dad.
"But I don't like him back, and I never will. He is a creep." My stepdad got angry and said, "No one cares who you like. My son has autism, and you have to respect that." I couldn't believe it. No one punished my stepbrother for filming me while I was naked.
What's
So
up
it
with
was
these
no surprise
faces,
when the
dude?
next
I
day,
love 'em
Peter
so
put
much.
his hand on my shoulder and asked, "Do you want to go to the cinema with me?" I kicked
Hell
him so
no.
hard in the balls, he fell
Ooh,
on his knees
kicked
and
him
cried for
right
minutes.
in his
I
bits
said,
and
"Don't
goodies."
ever touch me again." But just a few hours later, my mom, my stepbrother, and I were sitting at the lunch table when he took his soup and threw it on my mom's breast. Then he laughed and said, "Nice." But instead of being
Nice!
angry,
This
my mom
guy.
said, "It's okay.
Someone needs
no
to karate
worries."
chop him on the
However,
neck.
I knew
Just
Peter
right
had
here,
done
one
it on
good one.
purpose, so I told him, "That's why you don't have friends and why you never will find a girlfriend. You are a disgusting
That's my
pig."
girl.
And
That's
Peter
my
responded,
girl!
"I have autism. Don't
Roast
bully me."
his ass!
Wow, he was using his disability as an excuse to behave like a jerk again. Some people
I
are just
love
disgusting.
Bobbies. It says
Well,
Bobbies,
a few
too.
months later, my
Those were two
stepbrother
Bs.
attacked one of his teachers in school. It was so bad that the teacher had to go to the hospital.
Damn, he whooped
My
his own
stepbrother
teacher's
was put
ass?
on trial and got a 3-month prison.
Why does the judge look like the dad, too?
My stepdad was furious and screamed at the judge, "Can't you see he has a disability?" And the next day, when my stepdad sat on the couch, I went over and said, "I told you that your son is a jerk, and the judge agrees with me. Peter uses his autism as an excuse to hurt other people. I'm glad he's locked away." It was so satisfying to tell my stepdad that he was a terrible father.
You go, girl.
And then he
You
stood
go,
up,
girl. Up
went
top,
right
girl.
into my face and screamed, "If you say one more thing about my son, I'll throw you out of the house." I responded, "You didn't discipline him, and now the world would be a better place if your son was just dead." My stepdad kept screaming at me, but I
Too
didn't
far.
care.
I
Life
take the
without my
high five
stepbrother
back. That was too
so
far.
Much better. But of course he came
He's like,
back after 3 months, and he had changed. He had dark circles around his eyes and didn't speak. I bet his cell inmates didn't put up with his tantrums and gave him a few good beatings.
Okay.
I thought he had finally learned to be respectful, but he quickly went back to his old behavior, just worse.
Well, I mean,
Now
he was in
would stare
jail.
at my
He hasn't
breast
seen a lot of
nonstop
bobbies
whenever
unless
he
they're man
wanted.
bobbies.
I got so scared that I asked my boyfriend to move into our house. I wanted him to protect me. But when my stepbrother saw us together holding hands, he completely freaked out and screamed, "I'm her boyfriend! I'm her boyfriend!" He was like a baby, and one time I forgot to lock my door, so Peter opened it and saw my boyfriend and I
I feel
making
like this
out.
is real.
He got really angry.
I feel like
and
this story is
screamed,
the real deal.
"No!" Then he got a hammer and destroyed the wall between his and my room. He even put his head through the hole and screamed at my boyfriend.
Okay, this is some
"I'm gonna
next
kill
level.
you." And then he threw the hammer at us. He only missed my boyfriend by a few inches, and that's when we decided to get rid of him. We knew my stepbrother was on probation for beating up his teacher. So if he committed another crime, he would be sent to prison or to a mental health institution for several years. So when he was watching cartoons, we went right in front of him and made out. As expected, he freaked out again, but this time much worse. He turned into a psycho and punched so hard against the window that it broke. Then he picked up a big piece of broken glass and came towards us. He didn't know that we were filming him on a hidden camera.
Nice.
So I said,
the filmer
"Stop it. Why do you wanna
becomes the
kill us?"
filmee.
When he was only 1 meter away, my boyfriend shot a taser at my stepbrother and he
Yeah, I
collapsed.
like this guy.
Then we called the cops and showed them the video footage. This time, the judge sentenced my brother to 8 months in prison. But when my stepdad found out what I had done, he resented me so much that he threw me out of the house.
You know what?
He
Reverse
screamed,
Uno that
"You've
bitch and
destroyed
throw
my
him
son's
out. I'm so
future."
sick of this
And
guy's
of course, I
stuff.
was incredibly angry that my
Oh,
own
now the
mother
mom too?
allowed him to
Reverse
throw
Uno
me
her
out.
too.
Afterward, I didn't see or talk to my mom in years. But finally, I came back over Christmas, and yes, my stepbrother was back.
Loser.
To my surprise, he apologized to me, and for a moment, I thought he had changed, but then he blatantly stared at my breast again, and I knew he was the same disrespectful person as before.
So sick of this
However,
man,
now
can't
my
keep good
stepdad
eye
was
contact.
behaving even worse. He had lost his job 6 months earlier, which meant my mom had to work overtime every day to earn enough money. My stepdad could at least have done the housework, but instead he gave my mom orders like, "Hey, get me another drink." And that's why I took my mom to the side and told her she had to break up with my stepdad. But she started crying and said, "Since he's lost his job, he got us $20,000 into debt.
Oy.
If I break up with him, I have to pay back half of it, and I can't afford it." Well,
Yeah, I
that
feel like
night
this
slept in
story
my
is so
old room.
specific to
But
be
when
fake.
I wanted to take a shower,
This has
the
gotta
next
be the real
morning,
deal,
I
right,
noticed that
guys?
the underwear I had put into my bag was missing, and of course, I knew who had taken it.
Ew.
It was my creepy stepbrother. I didn't even want to think about what he was
He's twirling
doing
it on
with
his
and
finger,
it was so
bro.
disgusting that I didn't even
So
confront
sick of this
him about it.
man's.
However, when we opened our Christmas gifts, things escalated. My mom had bought Christmas presents for all of us, but neither my stepdad nor my stepbrother had bought her anything in return.
Because they're broke as
She
dick
got
balls.
so sad about it that she struggled to hold back her tears. And seeing my mom suffer made me so angry that I screamed at my stepdad. "You lazy piece of bum. My mom
You
takes
lazy
care of you.
piece
She
of
earns the
bum.
money.
We
She does
family
the
friendly
housework,
out
and in
here.
return you do nothing.
Let's go.
She didn't even think about buying her
I'm
a
about to call
gift."
somebody that.
My stepdad responded, "Calm down. I've tried everything to find a job, but it's a tough economy
Shut up,
out
you
there."
lazy piece of bum.
I said, "Okay,
See, I
show
told
me
you
how
guys
many
that's
job
it.
applications you have sent out this month." But he responded, "It's December. It's holiday time. No one works over Christmas." I was about
Yeah,
to
speak for
explode,
yourself,
but then
bud.
my mom said, "You're right. They don't respect me, and they don't appreciate the sacrifice I'm making.
Yeah,
It's
Hadouken
over.
them to death.
I'm gonna move out."
Hadouken them. 360
My
kicks to the
stepdad
face.
jumped up and screamed at me, You've been trying to destroy this family for years. I'm suffering from depression, and you have no idea how much I struggle."
What?
Wow, did he really think he could manipulate me by making me feel guilty? Well, it didn't work. I
Good.
just laughed at him and said, "Finally, you're getting what you
I
deserve."
like this girl.
Meanwhile, I noticed my stepbrother staring at my breast again.
Oh
but
my-
I didn't care anymore.
This.
My mom moved in with me.
I wanna
and
know
tried
this
to
kid in
start
real
all
life.
over, but the
Whoop his
divorce
ass.
took many months, and meanwhile, my stepdad used my mom's credit cards to get her into another $20,000 in debt.
Good
It really
lordy.
isn't fair, but after her divorce, she was stuck with $20,000 of debt,
Ooh.
and it will take her years to pay it off with her
Oh yeah,
small
she gonna be
salary.
like 6
But
feet under
at
the
least she's
ground,
free
looking
now,
old as
and
dick.
we still have each other.
Bonus story. Should I watch this?
Supposedly,
It's
she
like a
said,
minute long.
"I'm out of here," and no one ever saw her
Whatever.
again. I don't know.
This
if that's
guy's
a true
voice is like a
story,
stoner, so might as
though,
well.
because my dad always says and believes a lot of weird stuff. I mean, I love and
Who's the
respect
dad? Him?
Last year,
They both look like young
he took it
kids.
to the next level. I just got home from summer camp when he told me that he'd been abducted by aliens.
Ah.
I started
This
to
is
laugh,
that
but
kind
he
of
was
bonus
dead
story.
Serious. He said there was a light all around him, and he couldn't move. And then he got beamed up to their ship. Apparently, the aliens talked to him.
Did they anal probe
can't
him?
remember what they
Please tell me
said.
they did. That would make the
And at
story
the
10
end,
times better.
a
Hey,
blue
baby.
female alien came into
How
the
you
room,
doing, my alien
and,
mamacita?
I guess you can imagine what happened next.
Oh.
I thought it was a funny story,
Intergalactic
but I didn't take it very
love. See
serious.
you, my
So I just
guy.
continued my day. Meanwhile, my dad got a call from our local radio station and was invited to talk about his experience. He even made it onto the front page of our local
Weirdo sees
newspaper. And
aliens.
suddenly, he was some kind of celebrity.
How to
People
handle
looked at him
fame.
on the streets and asked how he was doing. My dad always
How to
responded
handle
with,
fame.
"I'm
How
scared
do you
of being
Google how to
abducted
handle
again,
fame,
but I'm
dude?
trying to live my life regardless
Do
of what
famous
happens."
people write how to handle the
Of course,
fame?
everybody thinks he's
Bro,
nuts.
man,
That's
this
okay,
guy-
'cause I love
this
my
freaking
dad no matter what.
All right, guys, we're gonna check out one more video of today's episode. It's called "My Dad Put a Camera into My Room." Why would you do that, Dad?
Hey,
Why?
my name is Suzanne, and my dad is super strict. He doesn't let me wear short skirts or makeup, and if I'm home late by just a minute, I'm grounded for a
minute?
month. There's no
1
way he'd
minute?
ever
Come
allow
on,
me to
Pops.
date anyone. So, when my cute classmate Larry asked me out, I knew I was going to have to see him.
Ooh,
in
Larry's so
secret.
hairy.
When my parents left home for their usual Friday night date, Larry came over.
Friday
I
night
thought I
date.
was
You
so
know what's going
smart,
down.
arranging for him to be there while my parents were out. At first, everything was great. We were talking, laughing, not doing anything wrong.
I
But
bet.
about 10 minutes after Larry arrived, I heard the front door opening. I got really nervous in case it was a
Oh, my heart
burglar.
would have dropped.
But then
I had a
heard
strict
my
dad like that.
coming up the stairs. So I told Larry to hide in the closet. My dad started yelling, Suzanne, Suzanne, do you have a boy with you? You better
What, do you
not.
smell a
He
man
came
in the
into my
house or
room and
something?
headed straight
Who is
to
this
the
man?
closet
Aw,
where
come on,
Larry
bro.
was hiding. To
That was the
this
weakest
day,
hiding spot,
I
too.
have no idea how my dad knew he was there. He sent Larry home, but I knew that wouldn't be the end of it. I wasn't supposed to have friends over when my parents weren't home, especially not a boy. So I knew I'd be punished.
Of
I
course.
thought I'd just be grounded, but that wasn't enough for my dad.
What, did you get
He
40
put a
lashes?
big video camera in my room and hooked it up to the internet.
Oh,
So he
I
could
assumed that
watch
he
me
already had the camera
anytime
there. That's
from
how
his
he knew that
smartphone.
there was a
It
boy
so
in the room.
Creepy. I
Weird.
could never relax in my own room. I was always stressed someone might hack into the camera to spy on me. But when
Right.
I told my dad, he said I should worry about more important things, like being a well-behaved daughter. As if that wasn't bad enough, the next Monday, I got my
Dads like
report
him are
card.
horrible.
My grades were bad.
Damn, you dumb as
really
fuck.
bad. It was all C's and D's.
It looked like
I
a
knew
cheat
my
code.
dad would be angry, but this time he didn't yell at me. He just said, "All right, I don't expect you to be good in every subject, but I want you to pick 2 subjects to focus
I don't expect
on."
you to be
I
good in
told
every
him I
subject,
liked
but
English and
goddamn,
history the
C's and
most.
D's all
So
day?
He said, "I want you to study just English and history for an hour.
How you gonna be a
every
strict dad
day.
and not
If
be
you get
mad
a
at her
B
D's and
plus or
C's?"
better in both subjects next year, I'll get rid of the camera in your room, and you can have a boyfriend." You can't imagine how happy I was. I ran to my dad and gave him a big hug. He was actually being reasonable.
Yeah, at least he came
and
to a
being
compromise.
allowed to
I'll
have
clap
a
to that.
boyfriend was
I'll
a
clap to that, guys. I'll
huge
clap both
motivation
sides.
for me. For the next 6 months, I worked really hard on English and history.
Okay,
I wasn't
good for
allowed
you.
to miss a single day's study. So even if I was sick, I'd still sit at my desk for an hour and stare at a textbook so it looked like
Good
I
for
was
you.
working. When it was time to get my grades, I was very nervous. I thought I'd done
D's.
well because of how much work I'd done, but you never
F's.
know. First, I got my history results, and
Oh,
I
A
couldn't
plus.
believe it.
Okay,
I got
another
an
round
A
of
plus.
applause.
However, when I got my
Ah,
English
B.
grade, I only got a B. I was devastated. I'd worked so hard, but it wasn't quite good enough. When I showed my dad my grades, he was very proud of my A plus in history.
Nice.
But he said that because I didn't get a B plus in English, I still wasn't allowed to have a
come
boyfriend.
on,
However,
Dad.
he said he would remove the camera inside my
Okay,
room.
that makes sense.
So that was good. The funny thing is, I kind of miss the camera now.
Ew.
It gave me a sense of order. Since I'm not being watched
Give you a
anymore,
sense of
I don't
order?
work as hard. And although
wrong
I
with this
like
girl?
the idea of being really good at something, it's hard to stay focused when I'd rather be texting my friends or watching YouTube. Well,
Oh, I guess
thank
that
you
makes
for
sense,
listening to
right?
my story, and please
I guess that
subscribe to
makes
this
sense
channel.
that she likes the camera in the room because she always feels like she's being watched, so she won't do anything that leads her against the path that she's supposed to be on. So I get that she misses it, but she's still weird though. Alright guys, but that's gonna do it for this episode of reacting to these true animations. I felt like the second story was true just because it was so specific and so detailed. I feel like people making that stuff up can't be that creative, can they? I mean, I don't know. You guys let me know which ones you guys thought were real, which ones were fake. If you guys want me to react to any more of these stories on the internet, make sure you guys give this video one big fat like, and tell a friend today that Jay from the Cub Scouts is that dude!